Hello, 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 and welcome to the Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I am your girl, Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to get the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I loves me some tea. Her. And you know what I love more than that is my cup mug here. And you can get your cup mug at monagyscreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically, so there are no excuses. Click on that QR code right there in the corner. Scan it, and it'll lead you right to where you can get your cup mug. Scan that QR code. Period. I know you guys like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? First of all, on a Saturday. Second of all, right now, why are you here? And this is a special, special day for many reasons. We're supposed to do my recording tomorrow, like yesterday, but um had some technical issues, some technical things happening, and so I wasn't able to get that recording done. And so I was like, we have an episode tonight. I might as well just do both. Let's talk about Thursdays and Fridays episode today. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I will have Logan back with me for the finale on Monday. So we're gonna do that. Bef- I appreciate you joining me. I really truly do. And before we jump right into episodes 15 and 16, y'all, if this is your first time here, welcome. Sending love to you. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate you. Um, If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, do all the things to support us because we truly appreciate all of your support. And we are on a mission here at the Cup TV to get 1,000 new subscribers by the end of the year. And we are on our way. We just need some more of you to go and subscribe. We're in October already, and I would truly, truly love it. We get more, more, and more subscribers. But I don't mind begging and waiting. I'm gonna wait. I'm patient. Not too patient, but I'm patient enough. But please subscribe to this channel and subscribe to all of our channels. All the links will be in the description below. You know, we're here doing competitive reality television all the time here on this channel, which is we're wrapping up Love Island Games. We're in the middle of Survivor and Amazing Race. We've just wrapped up Project Runway and Big Brother. We're going to get back to our Project Runway refill soon, so look out for that. And then we'll have other shows coming your way very, very soon. More things to talk about: Big Brother UK, Celebrity Traders. We got a lot of things happening. So if that's your judge, if that's your gig, if that's what you're passionate about, subscribe to this channel. But if you're a fan of drag or drag race, At the Cup Pod is the place for you. Or if you're a fan of Eurovision Song Contest, At the Cup ESC is the place for you. We are on a mission all across the Cup network to get 1,000 new subscribers. So go to our link tree, click on all those links, follow us on all of those channels, as well as our audio podcast links are down there. You can go check that out to never be, we want to be where you are. We want to go where you go. So check out those links for that is down there. Our Patreon is now open. We got a lot of fun things going on in our Patreon. So check that out. That link is also in the description below, as well as our all of our socials at the Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. You can follow me on those places as well. Um, yeah, put a dash right there. That would be my Instagram. It's Lady J, LADIJ_78. I'll fix that and change that. But down there is my Twitter. So if you want to follow me, you can do that too. If you are interested in being a part of this panel to talk anything that we talk about, drag race, competitive reality television, or Eurovision, hit us up in our Instagram DMs. That's the quickest way to get in touch with us. We are looking for brand new voices. So if you're interested in that, please hit us up, let us know, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Now let's get into It's Love Island Games, episode 15 and 16. What a ride. What a ride, y'all. So we are back right after the duel. We lost Kendall and Nicola. Um, People are sad because Kendall was a friend to some, to most, and Garby is of course very heartbroken because Kendall was her person, her connection in the house, and so she was just like, I don't know. She was very sad, and people were trying to comfort her. Um, but of course, on the flip side, you have people happy for Josh and happy for Garby because they got to stay. Andrea and Josh are very happy that they get to still be together. They know that um, the alliance or the Power Squad is coming against them. The Power Squad actually had a meeting right after this and left Andrea out of it. They were like, no, you stay. You can go with Josh. And she was like, oh, a Power Squad meeting without me. Okay, well, I'll see what that is. They were like, I mean, you're with Josh. And so what can we do? You know, it was one of those things. It was like, we really can't have you all up in our business when we're trying to go after you. We're trying to go after your man. And we can't have that conversation with you standing there. So it's kind of just like, and I mean, I get it. And I mean, I think she understood that. She was like, I mean, I get that. But, it's not a good feeling when you were just part of this major squad that made this big decision. And now you're no longer part of the discussion. So it's kind of interesting that that dynamic quickly changed. And so the Power Squad is like, we're still gonna stick together. We're still going to rock this out. We're still going after Josh. We got rid of Kendall. Now we just need to get rid of Josh, and that'll be that. Um, Toby's starting to feel a little, still feeling a little uneasy with his partnership with Sydney because he's like, I don't know if she is ready for this game aspect of it all. Like she's here, I like her, we have a good time together, but is she like competitive? And everybody's kind of like, I don't know, man. I don't know if if you make it to the finals, if she's the one you want to be in the finals with. And everybody's like, they're like, oh, well, he's starting to worry. He's starting to worry, but he's like, I'm not going to think about it right now. Or I'm going to think about it, I'm going to sleep on it and see how I feel. Everybody goes to bed. Nothing really happens after that. They go to bed. Um, Next day, we see a conversation with Toby and Tyreek in the sauna. Oh wait, was that before or after? No, that was before. Let's make sure that was before. Um, he's like, so Tyreek is like, how you feel about your connection with Sydney? He was like, I don't know. I feel like we would be the weakest link if the weakest couple if we make it to the finale. And I don't know what to do. And so Tyreek kind of suggested like, hey, maybe you should go for Garby because we know she's strong, and if you do that, you have a better chance of winning. But Garby's not feeling Toby right now because Toby did give her the kiss of death. I think she would have been a little bit more open to the idea if he wasn't the one that kissed her to send her in the duel. You know what I mean? I think that's what kind of frustrated her a little bit because she's like, "You are the one that did it. You came and you kissed me, and you sent me to this duel, even though the decision was, the entire group." Um, just knowing that um Toby was the one that actually sealed it with the kiss, it kind of threw Garby off a little bit. And so Toby actually went and had this conversation with Garby, and he was like, "Hey, listen, my connection with Sid is, you know, it's good, but I don't think we could win. And I know you're here to win." And Garby's like, "Yeah, of course I'm here to win." And she's like, "And I think we could possibly win together. I think we could possibly win if, I think we could win together." And so Garby's like, "Hmm. Not you suggesting we should," because of course, like I said, she did tell she called him a snake to his face. He's like, "Wow, you gonna tell me that to my face?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna tell you that to your face. I'm not two faced. I'm not, sneaky. I'm gonna take it straight up. I think you're a snake. You kissed me. That was a sneaky thing to do. I didn't like it. Blah blah blah." But he's like, "Yeah, but I know you're here for the game." And she's like, "Yes, I'm definitely here for the games. Um, I just want to make sure that we are on the same page here. Like, I want us to I just feel like we could do better together as a team." And so Garby kind of just listened and like, we'll think about it. She never said yes. She never said no. Very non-committal, but never told him no. Flat out no. She was just like, okay. And but she already had a plan in mind. There's no way she was going to want to be with Toby after that foolishness. And so she made her way right over to Casey and told Casey, "Hey, listen, I want to recouple with you, and I think we'll be good in these games. Um, I want to recouple with you. So I think we should get together, and I'm going to go and tell Sydney exactly what Toby said to me and cause a rift between them. So that way, sabotage that whole situation over there." And Casey's like, "That's a good idea. We definitely gonna make it happen. We definitely gonna make it work." Because they did find out it was a recoupling, by the way. It was a recoupling. The last recoupling of the game, they found that out already. And so they were like, we just kind of want to do our thing. And I think we can make it work and we can sabotage them in the process. And so that was the plan. Garby was all in on the plan. She went and told Sydney what Toby said to her and what he was saying, what he wanted to do, that he wanted to recouple with her because he didn't think Sydney was competitive enough. He said she was all about serving looks and not about, serving in the games. And so Sydney is now upset. She is pissed off, justifiably so. Like, she has every right to be upset with Toby after hearing that and knowing he wants to recouple with someone else and never told her. Like, he didn't even tell her. He didn't have the decency to tell her that that's what he was trying to do, and why he was doing it for the games. Um, he didn't say that. But so everybody starts getting ready for the night, and they find out it's Vegas night, and so a lot of gambling is going to be happening. Um, the girls are told to go and have a seat at the table, and then the guys get a message saying that they have to go and sit next to the girl he wants to couple up with. That's how the recoupling was going to happen. Um, so The girls go. They have a seat at the tables assigned to them, and then the guys come out. Hey, y'all, this is where it gets so stupid crazy. Um, the guys come out, and Toby goes and he sits next to Garby. And Garby was like, "Oh, no, you not. I know you not." So Casey's like, "Get up, dude. I'm just sitting here." So he's like, "Nah." So they literally start wrestling for this chair, like pulling it back and forth between Casey and Toby. They're just back and forth wrestling. Like, give it a get chair. She doesn't want you. Blah, blah, blah. And Garvey is now like, get up, Toby. I don't want you here. Get up. Blah, blah, blah. And they literally have to force Toby away from the table. All while Sydney is sitting there just like, are you kidding me? Okay. Okay. So she's pissed. So now Toby, after Gabby and Garby and Casey pushes him out of the seat, he now has to slink over to Sydney and sit next to her, and she's just like, ugh. So she flips him off, like, nah, F you, I want nothing to do with you. I'm not talking to you. And he's like, I'm sorry that it happened like that. She was like, whatever, I'm not. And she was like, well, now I hope you can win by yourself because I'm not doing nothing. I'm not doing nothing. And I'm like, I mean, it would be iconic if she did, but we all knew she was. She still was gonna do something. She was still gonna do something. But she was mad, and of course she had every right to be mad. So they find out what the first game is, and it's a table maze where both players have to roll three balls down this maze of a table and get the balls into certain people's slots. And if the ball goes in their slots, that is a vote against them. And so the first couple was Toby and Sydney. And Sydney was like, I'm not doing it. And he was like, come on, we got to just do it. We got to play the game, blah, blah, blah. She was like, no, because you don't believe in me. Because Toby literally said, I don't believe that you're here to serve, to play this game. And she's like, how do you know that? Like, what do you mean? What inkling did I give you that I'm not here to play the game? I'm here to play the game. That's why I'm here. And so she's mad. She walks off for a minute, gathers herself, comes back, and she's like, all right, fine, whatever, I'll play. And so they have to target someone. And this is what confuses me. Toby says he wants to target Garby and Casey. And I'm like, didn't Garby just target it? Hello? Did she just take the truth? Like, what do you mean? Why would you go up? Okay. And she was like, I don't. And he's like, is that not what you want to do? She's like, I don't care. And so that way he was like, fine, just do this. And so they go and they get the first ball into Garby and Casey's slot. And then she's like, I didn't want to do that. That's not what I wanted. He was like, well, tell me what you want to do. And so she was like, Josh and Andrea. So they go for the next two on Josh and Andrea. So Garby gets the ball, Josh and Andrea gets two balls. And then pretty much everybody else goes for Garby and Casey except um Garby and Casey. They go for Johnny and Gabby. No, Toby and Sydney. They go for Toby and Sydney. Um, but in the end, Garby and Casey gets the most votes, so they are now vulnerable. Um, the next game is card match. Like there's like four jokers in the deck, and then they have to avoid the jokers. Get as many cards that's not the joker, and each card that you get is a vote for someone. Garvey and Casey can play, but they're not eligible to be voted for because they're already vulnerable. Um, They get 4 votes because they get 4 votes. Toby and Sydney go. They get the Joker right away, so they don't get any votes. Um, Same with Johnny and Gabby, so they don't get any votes. Justine and Tyreek gets um Tyreek. Justine and Tyreek get 4 or 5 votes. 4 votes. I think they get 4 votes. And then Isaiah and yeah, they get 4 votes. And um Isaiah and Lucinda, who I don't like, by the way. I don't know. I mentioned that yet, but there will not be even ever episode where I mention how much I don't like her. I don't like her at all. But yeah, that's the couples. I forgot to put that up, but anyway. But yeah, so yeah, that was couples. So we already see that, like I said, that Casey and Garvey are vulnerable. So now all the votes can happen, and they now have to write the couple on each of the cards who they want to give their votes to. So Garvey and Casey give all of their votes to Toby and Sydney. So that's 4 votes for Toby and Sydney. We see. Oh wait, no, no, no! I jumped. I skipped a game. Oh yeah, I skipped a game. Yeah, I skipped a game. The next game wasn't the card game. The next game was the shuffleboard game. The shuffleboard game. So remember all that I just said because I'll come back to that. The shuffleboard game where they had to both throw little shuffleboard discs down the lane, and the more points you get champagne thrown in their face, which is also considered a vote. And so Garby and Casey both got 1, so they get 2 drinks to throw in somebody's face, and they could, of course, choose Toby and Sydney. Um, then Tyreek and Tyreek and Justine. I think they get 2, but they pick Josh and Andrea, and Josh is like, "This is loyalty, Justine. Great. I see what you like. You should do whatever he says." And I'm just like, first of all, Josh, she owes you no loyalty. Because remember when she was loyal to you? You picked Andrea without telling her. So the loyalty that you think she has to you, sir, out the window. Like, what do you mean? You picked Andrea over her, did not tell her, and she picked you. So you made her vulnerable. Like, hello. What do you mean? What do you mean getting upset with Justine? Talking about her loyalty, you see what her loyalties lies and blah blah blah. She is trying to stay in this game. And she is in a couple with Tyreek. So guess what? Now she's loyal to him because that's who her couple is. And he wants to go for you, and you are in their way. Absolutely, Josh. She was going to pick you and Andrea to go. I mean, to get votes. Because why not? You have already shown you weren't loyal to her. So why would she in turn be loyal to you? Hello. No, not that. We won't do that. We won't do that. Not on Justine. Not today. Not ever. Because you showed that you weren't loyal to her. So therefore she had every right to show who she's loyal to. And she picked the person she was coupled up with. Hello. You mad because of why? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. Fix it. Get it together, because that's not it. That's not it. Absolutely not. That's not it. So they get more votes, Josh and Andrea. Johnny and Gabby go and they give them their votes to Josh and Andrea as well. Isaiah and Lucinda go, and they do give their votes to Josh and Andrea as well. It is what it is. Josh and Andrea are the next vulnerable couple. Sure. Now we get to the card game, and everything I already said. It came down to a tie between Johnny and Gabby and Toby and um Sydney because Tyreek split his votes up because he didn't want to just pile it all on one person. It had to be between those three couples. And so he was like, he didn't want to just say, I'm going against Johnny because he promised Johnny that he wasn't just going to pick Toby over him just because. And they have been riding together all this time. So he didn't want to just do that. He also didn't want Toby to just be out. So he really gave him a chance for both of them to win their safety. Which, me personally, I get why Toby was a little annoyed by that because it's like, bro, I knew you for 15 years. What do you mean you not just go save me outright for Johnny? Who you just met. But I also understand Tyreek. He's like, but I also promised this man, and my word is my bond, and I promised that we wouldn't do that. And I feel like the safest thing, the fairest thing would do is to tie it up and make y'all, whoever wins wins, and it is what it is. I see both sides. I see both sides because I probably would land on the side of Toby, to be honest. If it was my friend of 15 years, I'm like, what you mean? I know what you said. F that. Screw that. We've been homies for 15 years. What do you mean? So yeah, I probably see where Toby was coming from on this. I do. I do. Because I would feel the type of way too. Yeah, I would feel the type of way about that. So they have to play a game of high low. Whoever picks the highest card wins. Sydney picks a 7. Johnny picks a 6. That for Johnny and Gabby are now vulnerable. So after that, Ariana comes in and she's like, we have 3 vulnerable couples. Somebody is going home tonight, and this is how we're going to do it. Either, since this is Vegas, you could rely on the Islanders to vote for you, or you could take a 50-50 chance on the roulette wheel and let the wheel decide your fate. So Johnny and Gabby was like, "Ooh, we'll take our chances with the Islanders because they felt like they probably had Toby and Tyreek with Justine and Sydney's vote to stay." Um, and so then Andrea and Josh decides to go with the vote. They didn't want to spend it for a 50-50 wheel, even though I'm like, y'all know y'all. They know they wouldn't have the votes to stay. I mean, they would probably get Josh and I mean, I not Josh, Isaiah and Lucinda. Although I think Josh might have tried to talk her out of it, not picking them. Um, so they decided to take their chance. Garby and Casey was like, "We taking the wheel because there's no way everybody voting for us. We not go get. We not gonna get it." So they take the chances on the wheel. And so it was one of if it lands on the red when they stay, and one of Johnny, Gabby, Josh, Andrea will go, or if it lands on the white, that means Casey and Garby will be done. So they spin the wheel, the ball is moving, the ball is flopping around, and the ball lands on white. And Garby and Casey are dumped from the island, and Johnny is relieved and he's yelling, whooping, and hollering, and they're like, okay, dang, thanks. um, but they are happy. Everybody's kind of like, couldn't believe they took the risk. And then Isaiah, and I think it was Toby, walks up to him and was like, I would have voted for you. I would have kept y'all. And they like, oh, you tell me that now. You couldn't tell me that before. Like, it's just like, well, we did what we did. We made our choice. They pack, they get their 30 minutes to pack, say their goodbyes. We see Gabby and Casey have a little bye moment. Um, she apologized for picking him. It is what it is. They go. Um, they leave, and now we're down to our final five. Um, or four, five, five. It's five, and so we move on, and everybody is just nothing really happens to the next day. So let's move on to the next day. It's conversations, but like we gotta get our head together. Oh, we do see Toby still trying to apologize to Sydney, and she's kind of just like over it. She's really not happy with him. She's like, we're not friends. We are not anything. I'm gonna finish this game out with you, but in the confessionals we get, if I win and I get the money, I'm taking the money and I'm out. Like there's no other. I would never stay with him, and so she's like, I will take all the money and go if I win. So there's that. Like I said, other little conversations between everybody trying to lock in. The guys are like, we telling Lucinda, it's time we need to go for Andrea at this point. And I know she's your girl, but it's time to go for Andrea and Josh. They're the strongest couple. We need to get them out of here so we all have a chance. Blah blah blah. Um, we had different conversations. People were heated. Josh is mad with everybody, so of course he's mad with Isaiah. He's mad with everybody. Johnny's mad with Isaiah and Lucinda. He's like, because they came for him, so he's coming for them. And it's just a lot of, emotions. People are very high on their emotionals, very high in the emotions category. They're like mad and sad and hurt and a lot going on. Like I said, Toby's still trying to apologize. Sydney's not having it. They get a text about the game. They find out that they're getting ready for the finale, and they have a game to get them there. Um, they have to get ready for, and so we see bestie talk between Andrea and Lucinda. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Lucinda, and Andrea's just okay. She's whatever. Um, just me personally, I'm just not a fan. So they get ready for the game, and they're sponsored by the NBA this time. They're shooting hoops, and Andrea is very excited because she was a basketball player. She's like, "Yeah, this is my thing. I can do this. Let's go out here and let's do it." So they get ready. They go to the challenge. They find out the challenge is called shooting hoops, shoot your shot or whatever. It's a certain amount of balls in the pit. The guys are going to pass the balls to the girls. The girls are going to shoot, and whoever gets as many buckets in and have as many balls in it at the end win. But after they run out of balls in the pit, they can start taking balls from each other and just taking the balls from other people and keeping them, for themselves and all that other stuff. And so we start this challenge and we quickly see how this is going to go because it turned after the balls get eliminated from the pit. Because Andrea was shooting really good. Sydney was doing really good. Sydney was making shot after shot after shot. She only missed one, and she says, and everybody was very impressed by her. But once the balls were emptied out the pit, it turned into what we know as 4 versus 1 because all the guys was going to Josh and Andrea's pit, taking their balls from her. As soon as she would sink one, they would take it. So she had no balls before the time was up because um, they were just taking all the balls. They were taking all of her balls. It was just like, after a while, it was just like, why am I shooting? Why am I even doing this? Because every time I put one in, they just take one out. It was kind of crazy. It was kind of messed up. It was kind of messed up. I will say it was kind of messed up, and I would be annoyed too if it was happening to me. I'd be like, "This is stupid." Like, but it is the game. And the fact that they didn't try to make alliances is crazy to me because it's like, what do you mean you don't have alliances? You make alliances in games like this. And Josh wanted to play a solo dolo, and he had Australia with him. And they wanted to play a solo dolo, and it cost them in the end with this twist and with this game. It seriously took them out, and so they didn't have any balls. Sid and Toby had the most, followed by Lucinda and Isaiah, Johnny and Gabby, Tyreek and Justine, and like I said, Josh and Andrea had 0. Um, so the next round, the girls were getting the balls, but there was an additional white ball added to the mix. And the white ball was death ball. Like, you did not want to end up with the white ball. If you ended up with the white ball, that was instant dump. Like, that was an instant dump. And so, since Andrea and Josh had no balls to start, they started with the white ball. And so they tried to come up with this master plan of having the white ball just hold it until like 15 seconds left and then dump it off on the person who had the most balls in their thing. And so they were going to count. Now they had 5 minutes. So they were going to count for 5 minutes in their head to try to keep up with the time so they know exactly, you know, what time they had left. And they were just trying to get rid of the ball at the last minute. And so they held on to it and they were counting. And everybody else was running around and then they realized what was happening. And so people started getting rid of their balls in their first, thing because they were like, if they dump it in ours, we could hurry up and get it out and dump it in somebody else's or theirs and just keep uh just make sure it doesn't end up. Well, they're going to count in their mind. That's what they say. They're going to count in their head, and they were going to count to like 4:45 to have like 15 seconds left. And they're counting and they're counting. And I knew when Andrea said, "I lost count. Where are you?" that this was not going to work because she was losing count, and she's asking Josh where he's at. And so he has to stop and think about and tell her where she's at. And so they're losing more time. More seconds are ticking away every time they're like, where are we? 16? Where are we? So, um, So they were trying, and people were running around trying to protect themselves. It's more of a defense game. And so then Andrea and Josh starts feeling like this is time, it's closer, it's getting closer. And they start grabbing the ball to move it. And they grab the ball and they take it out of their cylinder and they turn and the timer stops. Josh and Andrea are stuck with that white ball. And because they just did not count correctly. And so they are dumped and dismissed from the island, and they are shocked. They are like so pissed off because number one, It was 4 versus 1. Number two, they just did it to themselves because they didn't count correctly, and then they were dumped. So it was a lot. Ariana was bringing up Josh's sister, who had passed in his original season. That's why he never got to finish the journey. And he was like, I did this for her in the first place. I came on Love Island because she wanted me to, and now I I didn't get to finish it then, so now I wanted, and I still didn't get to finish it now, which lets me know Josh should be back on Love Island game season 3, because him and Andrea is not going to work, in my personal opinion. Because I don't think they're gonna last, even if they both live in Miami. They're gonna be together for maybe a couple months. It won't last. I just don't. Something about her. I don't know. I still okay. This is my personal conspiracy theory, y'all. I still think she has that boyfriend that we heard so much about. I don't think her and her boyfriend was broken up. And she's about 3 months ago or a month ago, right before she got here. Spin the block. She's just. I don't think. I don't think. I don't think she got an ex boyfriend. I think she has a boyfriend back home. But that's, like I said, that's just me personally. I don't know this girl. I don't know for sure. I could be dead wrong. As we say, everything is alleged information. I don't know. But that's just my personal alleged information thoughts. I think she got a boyfriend back home. I do. But they are, sad, but everybody then is like, we did this because you are a great competitor. We didn't want to go against you. It will have to be done, blah, blah, blah. Which, me personally, I don't need to hear all that. I don't need to hear your kind words after you didn't kick me out and played me like this. Let me just go. But they are dumped from the villa. But we also find out that Lucinda and Isaiah had the most baskets. And so they're going straight to the finale. And now we just have to find out who they are going to go against. And that is in the hands of America. And they get to vote between Tyreek and should be, but Tyreek and Justine, Toby and Sydney, and Gabby and Johnny. And it's America's vote. I think Johnny should know he does not have a chance. I think Johnny should know he does not stand a chance. Nobody is voting for Johnny and Gabby at this point. Number one, Johnny, what you did to Andreina, you think people go vote for you? No. Oh, absolutely not. Oh, absolutely not. And Gabby folks, if they just started watching Love Island, they don't know you. So you don't even have the power to pull the votes from you. Johnny just screwed that up completely for you. Now, here's the thing. Here's where it gets tricky. Because I think people still don't like Toby, and they definitely don't like Toby for what he did to Sydney. But if they feel so bad for Sydney because of what Toby did, they could get a lot of votes. They can get a lot of votes. And the same thing goes for Tyreek and Justine. Because I think if people are voting Tyreek and Justine, it's probably for Justine. Not too much for Toby. I mean, for Tyreek. Because I think Tyreek, people did not. They didn't rock with Tyreek. Now, it's going to be some people who rock with Tyreek. And me personally, I don't mind because I voted for Justine and Tyreek for Justine. That was where my votes went for Tyreek and Justine. But because of Justine. And I want my girl to get her three-peat. Like, why not? Why not? Why not? Um, so me personally voted for, you know, Tyreek and Justine. But we could get a lot of people voting for Sydney and Toby for Sydney. Not for Toby, but for Sydney. So we'll see what happens on Sunday, because Sunday is the finale. and we will see what happens on that said Sunday. Um, who is going to face Isaiah and Lucinda in the duel, the mega duel. I kind of hope it's Justine and Tyreek because I would love to see Tyreek in some real what he'll do in a duel. It'd be interesting to see that. Um, yeah, and if it's like last season where the last, because here's my thing, and let's break down some scenarios, and I want y'all to let me know your scenarios in the comment section as well. Let me know because let's say the vote goes to Tyreek and Justine. And so we have Tyreek and Justine against Lucinda and Isaiah. Who do you think is winning that duel? Because me personally, I think Isaiah could possibly beat Tyreek, but I think Justine could beat Lucinda. So I think there's that, and if it's like last season, you have a guy and a girls duel and then a team duel. So, and I think team wise, I think Justine and Tyreek could beat Lucinda and Isaiah, but I'm not counting out Isaiah and Lucinda either. I think Isaiah and Lucinda could, because I think they do work well together. Even if I don't like her, they work well together. So that's a thing. So if it's Tyreek and Isaiah, who do you think win the duel? Let me know. I'm going to go with Tyreek and Justine. If it's Toby and Sydney against Isaiah and Lucinda, who do you think wins that duel? And I'm going to say Toby and Sydney only for the fact that Sydney is going to feel like she really has to prove that she is here for for the games and for the money. And I think Sydney will go extra hard if she makes it there because she has a lot to prove and she wants to prove herself. So I think in that case scenario, Toby and Sydney wins. And if it's Johnny and Gabby against Lucinda and Isaiah, Johnny and Gabby wins. 100% wins. But I don't think Johnny's going to get that vote to go there. I don't think he's going to even make it there. Me personally, I honestly don't think he is. Because the vote is the vote. Now, unless there's some riggery and some foolishness and some shenanigans and chicanery happening, I don't see Johnny getting the vote, but if production wants Johnny to get that far, he will get the vote. But I personally think if it's legit and on the up and up, Johnny's not getting the vote. That's what I think personally. But I need y'all to let me know in each scenario. Let me know in the comments in each scenario if Toby and Sid are going against Lucinda and Isaiah, who wins? If it's Justine and Tyreek going against Lucinda and Isaiah, who wins? And if it's Johnny and Gabby going against Isaiah and Lucinda, who wins? And then who takes the money and does not share? Like who takes the money and go, and who shares? Like give me a list of who shares. I personally think Lucinda and Isaiah both will share the money if they win. I think everybody else, maybe Gabby will share because she came in so late. Maybe Gabby will share with Johnny. I don't think Johnny shares with her though. And I don't think either Toby or Justine shares. And I don't think, I mean, not Toby, Toby and Sydney, I don't think either of them share. And I don't think Justine or Tyreek shares. I think this is the season the money is getting taken off of themselves. That's what I think. But let me know in the comments what you think. And just know we will be back here on Monday for our final Soul Ties Live. Soul Ties is Crazy Live. Um, our final one on Monday. My goodness, that's it. I mean, I know this. I always know that this is quick because it is games and it's not going to be you know, a long one, but it flew by. It flew by. But join us for our last Soul Ties is Crazy live on Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern, where we will be talking about the finale. I should have Logan back with me and to wrap this up. And I appreciate you for joining me. I truly do. I truly appreciate you taking this journey with us and with me. And I urge that you continue to do that. Continue to follow us. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done it. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to all of our other channels. All the links will be in the description below, as well as our audio podcast links, our Patreon, all of our socials at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. And you can scan that QR code that's been up there this whole time where you can get your cup mug at lanagcreations.etsy.com. And I thank you so much for joining me. And go watch another video because I'm going to go make more. So just click the next videos. And I will see you on Monday for Love Island Games finale. Cheers, y'all. Bye.